Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack. We also have
Calvin Ellis, ready to rock.
today we want to talk about DC announcing Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. Before I do the announcement, do you have any thoughts on this before I play this? What's going on with this thing?
This is Superman on drugs. Let's see.
Okay, here let's hear what they say.
DC Today announced a new 5-issue DC Black Label comic book series, Superman, The Kryptonite Spectrum, by W. Maxwell Prince, Martín Morazzo, and Chris O'Halloran, on sale, August 13, 2025. The visionary minds behind the critically acclaimed and Eisner Award-nominated Ice Cream Man comic book series from Image Comics, W. Maxwell Prince, Martín Morazzo, and Chris O'Halloran, are set to bring their signature storytelling sensibilities to DC this summer, with a comic book series about one of the most iconic figures in pop culture, Superman. Genre-bending creators Prince, Morazzo, and O'Halloran lend their signature blend of existential superhero fantasy horror to the world of Superman in a new series that brings the Man of Tomorrow into contact with every flavor of kryptonite under the yellow sun. The creative team will launch an all-new limited series that reimagines Superman through a daring, genre-defying lens. We've developed a reputation for pretty left-of-center experimentation with respect to comic storytelling, said W. Maxwell Prince. And this is basically what we're doing over the 5 issues of Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, using our unique voice in comics to tell a soup's yarn that's both strange and timeless, out there and also totally grounded. You might know what green, red, and black kryptonite does to Superman, but what about purple, or cobalt, or speckled? Across the 5 innovative issues, Superman must look inward to find strength in his most famous weakness. Each issue promises to explore different facets of Superman's character, mythos, and moral core,
On drugs.
narrative form in ways only Prince, Morazzo, and O'Halloran can.
They didn't say anything about drugs.
While Ice Cream Man became a cult favorite,
We know what this is.
We don't
often
know.
harrowing dive into
Drugs.
horror and existential
No.
dread. This new Superman title marks a bold departure, eschewing horror in favor of introspective, fun, genre-fluid storytelling. In the upcoming comic book series,
Genre fluid?
kryptonites have been discovered in deep space, and Superman needs
know what
to
that
know
means.
what exactly they do to him, lest the colorful rocks of his home planet fall into evil hands.
All right,
With Batman at
he needs to know what these different things do to him. He's going to test it out on himself.
What do the red ones do? Do they take them up? What do the yellow ones do? Do those take them down?
Wow.
side, this DC Black Label Superman 5-issue event explores the consequences of each never-before-seen variety of kryptonite, all in the formal and boundary-pushing fashion that Prince, Morazzo, and O'Halloran are celebrated for. Superman. The Kryptonite Spectrum is a story about new types of kryptonite and the effect those new types have on Kal-El and his world, said DC Group editor Paul Kaminsky. The series offers an opportunity to unleash the acclaimed Ice Cream Man creative team on the DCU, with episodic tales that play with storytelling styles. These tales are often warped, suspenseful, and occasionally horrific, and lean into the rich stylings of the Silver Age Superman franchise.
Drugs!
The Kryptonite Spectrum is art pop storytelling with Superman by a creative team that makes as much of a statement about the book as its contents, continued Kaminsky. This book stands out as a statement that the Man of Tomorrow is still looking toward the future for the kinds of talent and creativity that will feed the franchise for its next 85 years. Paul's not wrong.
Yeah, right. You said the future. What's another word for future?
Superman.
A trip.
The Kryptonite Spectrum
Acid trip.
is just about the new kryptonites and the wacky things they do to soups. Martín, Chris, and I want to tell a bonkers story that also explores real human problems. These kryptonite shards are, in fact, pieces of Kal-El's home. It's his own home that hurts him.
All right.
This idea that home hurts can also be applied.
What?
Man, this is come on. Anybody who read the Silver Age stuff knew that red kryptonite was pretty much a drug. Okay? Anytime he came over, it
Okay.
was a totally different trip.
Okay.
Okay, so you may not have gotten that. Now, here's the thing though. Remember, we had that whole reboot 1986. We're gonna do away with all this stuff. Oh, there's too much kryptonite. Do this, do that. Now we got a 5-issue prestige format black label book dealing with issue by issue how Superman reacts to certain different colors of kryptonite. These are drug trips. The idea, Superman's character is solid. Okay, he represents hope. He represents good. So the whole idea of the kryptonite doing something is to take this guy and put him like, okay, we're gonna change. The whole idea of this is this: we're gonna change his character. So if he's exposed to this particular kryptonite, this is what's going. This is what's going to happen. Now, and this is the thing: in the Silver Age, kryptonite didn't work like this. In the Silver Age, it was green and red that he really had to worry about, and gold. Gold would take away your powers. That didn't come up too often. But the whole idea that there's different colors of kryptonite and they start changing his character, that's a modern convention. Red kryptonite, red kryptonite could have a physical change. It might have a personality, but it was only red kryptonite. The whole idea is, oh, this one's speckled, this one's diamond, this one's black. Ridiculous. And these are the
Come
same
on.
people who sneer at the Silver
Well,
Age.
what about different strains of kryptonite, man? Come on.
I'm sorry, different strains of kryptonite?
I
No,
mean, you
this is
brought up
like
the
literally
drug
walking
thing.
into the this is literally like walking into the party. You see the plate, all the pills are there. Like, hey, what does this one do? That's what this is. It's
Huh?
Superman
I
on
can't.
drugs.
I can't argue with you. Kind of your assessment makes sense. Makes total sense. Let's see if there's anything else that happens. You only have a minute and 23 seconds
What
left.
was that last bit?
Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
what was that last bit of nonsense? They're gonna look at what is it they always try to do? We're gonna look at his humanity. Yeah, all right. That's humanity getting high.
Hey, he secretly likes to try. Like stuff can be detrimental to you, and but these ones might have some different things than just killing him or taking away his powers. So, red ones, he's like, hey, sometimes I've been more powerful with the red one. So, what do these other ones do? And the other thing is like, ultimately, Superman might say, we need to put these under wraps, then blow them up and get rid of them. But, they're going a different route.
So, we're exploring that idea inside this framework of our usual experimental storytelling. Home can be traumatic,
Get some more
and yet
pictures.
there's no place quite like it, as Dorothy reminds us. We're interrogating all this stuff within the bookends of something decidedly wacky and full of make-your-jaw-drop Man of Tomorrow moments. It's what we do best, an admixture of sad, funny, and strange. And because it's Superman, happy. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum #1. A DC Black Label comic book written by W. Maxwell Prince with art and cover by Martín Morazzo, colors by Chris O'Halloran, and lettering by Good Old Neon, including variant covers by Tula Lote and Juan Ferreira, a foil variant cover by Wes Craig, and a 1/25 variant cover by Alex Ekman Long, arrives wherever comic books are sold on August 13th.
So, there we go. So, it sounds like you're not with this one.
Well, I have this OCD when it comes to Superman, so I'm gonna end up buying it anyway. I'll check out the issues. I've read so many Superman stories. I'm like, I'm totally reviled by this. But you read it, you file it away, it goes in the collection.
Okay. Um, yeah, no, it's not really, definitely not my cup of tea. The art looks interesting, but the idea of him deciding to test these out just in case he gets another hands, why? Well, I don't know. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen if I don't try it.
Just destroy the kryptonite.
Yeah, that could be the idea. Just have the robots go out and destroy the kryptonite. But
Yeah, where is it? Kryptonite? Yeah, fling that into the sun. Make certain it's pulverized. Make certain it's atomized. Okay, good. But we don't know what it did to you, and we won't need to know because we destroyed it.
mm,
No, the idea. I mean, one, I would think it's pretty reckless for
yeah,
him to take it upon himself. Well, no, I forgot. Batman's supposed to be in the series, so while it's going on, Batman will be there, and Batman will be the failsafe. He'll probably be there, with a kryptonite bullet and a gun. So, if the reaction looks bad, he'll just like put Superman out of his misery, which is another annoyance because I'm tired of seeing these stories where Batman has to be a fixture in there. I'm like, it's not reciprocal. I don't see these stories where Bruce is deciding to do something and then, well, Superman needs to be there just in case, or he needs Superman's expertise on something. So even with that, I think once I see stuff like that, I was like, this is on the wrong foot. Batman doesn't need to be anywhere near this story. Him testing out kryptonite, knowing not knowing what the effect could be is ridiculous as well. Just destroy it. You're supposed to be getting rid of this stuff. You're not supposed to be, oh, you know what? I need to well, no, I think there was some stories in the Bronze Age where he did have like some samples of kryptonite because he was trying to find a cure.
Hmm.
That's fine, but the only one you really need is green kryptonite. I was willing to let go like the stuff that they brought back, but this, do you remember? I think it was Peter David wrote one issue of Supergirl where he introduced pink kryptonite,
What does
and
that
pink
do?
kryptonite either made Superman like more effeminate or gay. It was one of the two. He didn't come flat out and say it, but that was pink kryptonite. That's where this type of stuff comes from. Oh, because you could, depending on the color, is it speckled polka dot
Well,
kryptonite?
I don't. That's the hard part because green. Um, there's no simple connection between green, gold, blue, or red, in my mind at least, for him to go pink. So I mean, it goes
Green is
along with.
just like, green is just like, it's like a nice color for radioactive. That's all it was. You can make that connection. Red could have been in, red I just guess is just like, red stop, danger, those type of particular
But then I
colors.
don't I don't know how you get. That's my point. I don't know how you get pink from any of that. I don't. And then Peter David, I know.
Oh, I get what you're saying. It's green, and then how do you go from it
Yeah,
being green to being pink? Like, how do you get that color
yeah,
gradient at the end of the day? You don't.
yeah. So that's where I kind of say for Peter David. I mean, I get. I know his humor. Say, all right, we have a scroll. The scroll is going to be a mutant, and being a mutant means he doesn't have any powers. And it's just like, oh, that's some sort of joke, right? And it's like that sort of aspect of kind of his kind of thing where I don't know. I mean, at some point, I guess he was rolling at that point, so you can't really say maybe this will work. And it gets back to the Silver Age by putting in another color. Like, no, not pink. It's not Cameron, But anyway,
That
uh,
that thing I was telling you about with pink kryptonite, that was literally one panel. That was one
that's
panel
definitely
in a
a
super
gag.
in a Supergirl story that has had more of a life than that storyline at the end of the day. It's just Superman there going to Jimmy, hey Jimmy, that bow tie of yours looks fabulous.
Wow,
Jimmy's like, okay. With
wow.
Lois in the background, I'll tell you all about it later. With the whole thing with the pink kryptonite. But that's just, I mean, for me, this is more akin to that sort of nonsense because this is one of the things I was taking the absolute universe to task with because they're saying this is a universe where evil is the default and good has to work harder. But when you look at Superman there, I'm like, he's still supposed to represent the biggest chance for hope and the biggest chance for good that universe has. In any universe, that's going to be Superman, according to DC Comics. And he's just darker. There's nothing, you used to think he would shine brighter. And no, it's just darker. So a darker universe just makes him darker. So when I'm looking here and they're talking about, oh, we're going to see more, the human aspect of Superman, you have to ask that person. And this is also very key. When you say human aspect, what does it mean to you to be a human being? And a lot of times people think they're very negative regards that. Now, Superman represents the most positive aspects of being a human being. And their idea of showing his humanity is always throwing him in the mud with the rest of us. So those are things that I look out for. And then we always have the excuse of kryptonite. It's the guy who's like, oh, he's a pretty good guy, but if he gets drunk, oh no, no, you don't want to be around him when he's drunk, he's surly. That's what they're doing right over here. We can go over here and we can have Superman do some wild stuff. And it's not really him, it's the kryptonite, it's the drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I never really, you know, the fact of like Superman 3 was on a bad trip, but he didn't know it. But anyway, Cal's gonna check it out. I don't know these creators. Not
You ever read Ice Cream Man?
No, I never read that.
Ice Cream Man, it's a horror series
Mhm.
for Image Comics. It's pretty, it has its readership. Popular with, I don't know if popular is the right word, but it has its readership. It's been going on for at least 6 years.
Mhm.
So the people who read there will probably bleed over to this, and then of course they love these alternative takes on characters like Superman, because then it becomes, maybe we can put some of this into the mainstream, but it doesn't really work. I, I couldn't see this as a mainstream storyline where he's just going to sit for 5 issues, have himself exposed to kryptonite, not in the manner in which they're probably going to do it.
Mhm. All right, so I guess it's
Oh,
a
I'm sorry, I was wrong. They are going to do this in the mainstream universe because that's right. Superman Unlimited, written by none other than Dan Slott, has a whole bunch of kryptonite dropped on the planet. So now we got to see how Superman's gonna be able to be the hero that we all know and love when everybody and their mother has kryptonite.
yeah. I didn't buy into the multicolored rings, and this seems even less than that. So, but I was okay with Sinestro doing this thing with yellow, but then obviously going white and black. That was kind of that was the lowest common denominator.
Well,
Even for
once you get three colors, you get the rainbow.
yeah,
You had green, you had yellow, and once they had the purple with star sapphire, that's it.
what they also I'm just saying the problem with the black. The black is death. The white is our hero is back. Anyway, here we go. We got another wacky one that could either stay on the wacky side or become canon, like a lot of this stuff comes. So anyway, spin the rack.
One other thing I'll say: if it's good, it's good. If it's good, it's good. So we'll see how it goes. But I'll definitely be reading.
All
We're
right,
out.
check it out. We're out.